Richardson, Jace Richardson, Jason Richardson's son, the Michigan State legend. He's putting up better numbers than his dad did at Michigan State as a freshman. Will he become as good as his dad? The jury's out on that one.
JR was, when he was here, he just fit in so well. He came in with a really good team, and he did nothing but add to it.
He's capable of getting you.
He was known for that 360.
My goodness, did you see that? Jason, tell me his innocent son.
Jason got style points. He really got style points.
7-0. Cleaves to Jason Richardson. There is no point on that board that Richardson can't reach.
You can have great skill and not hit the excellent level that he did if you don't love it. Coach Izzo talks about that. Do you like it or do you love it? Do you live it? I think he lived it.
It's always special, seeing the, Michigan State fans, and they remember what you did. And I think those 2 years I was here, short 2 years, people remember me getting better and leaving a legacy of, this guy really cared. He played hard every time he stepped on the floor.
He worked, he worked on his game and made himself an elite player and had an incredible, 2 Final Fours and a national championship here.
Michigan State, the national champions. They did it.
I don't think there's a coach, I don't think there's anybody that can take credit for that except him.
25 years later.
Y'all ready for tonight?
It's still surreal, man. Every time I turn on TV, I'm watching Michigan State basketball. I see Jace Richardson, like, man, my son is at the school I played at.
Who's the worst shooter in the house now? My wife could shoot, my younger son has started to shoot the ball. It's just good seeing, him shooting the ball, all the hard work he put in to become a basketball player, to get to this level, to be able to compete at this level.
Life is just sometimes it's things you can't control. The incident, didn't really want to think about it much, didn't really want to, talk about it. I wasn't doing nothing wrong, and no one in that house was doing anything wrong. Basketball could be taken away from me, away from anyone, actually, at any moment.
Breakaway off the glass, and it's in!
I didn't know after December 21st that was going to be my last game.
We were going out of town for my second son, unofficial visit. We wanted Jeremy to go, but then I was like, he's just coming home. He hasn't saw his friends.
It's a small group of us having a good time. We just hear the door open, was kind of shocked, didn't know who it was, what it was. And then from there, we just heard a loud pop.
He called us like 4:30. So I'm like, why is he calling me? And it say, Ma, I'm shot. I was like, wait, he's shot.
Jeremy Fears Jr. was shot in the leg near his hometown of Joliet, Illinois. Officers found Fears and another woman with gunshot wounds around 3:40 this morning. Fears was shot in the left thigh. They say a male suspect ran from the scene after the shooting and has not yet been found.
I just don't know what to do, because I'm hours away from Jeremy. I called Izzo.
Scared to death was my initial reaction. Is he okay? Thank God for some incredible medical people. The doctors at the hospital were great.
We get to the hospital, I don't know what to expect. I'm a little nervous to walk in this room because I don't know how he'll look. There Jeremy is being strong. And he did like the thumbs up. And I'm like, wow. this is amazing. Looking at how and what he went through, sometimes I would cry and I'm like, man, why would they do this to my baby? The city that you put on your back, the city that you made people know, this happened in your city, and don't nobody know who did it. I just couldn't believe it.
Fans see athletes as this caricature. I see the human side of them. We went through a shooting on campus. We went through Adrian Payne. Great guy in the wrong spot at the wrong time. All those things go through your mind as you go through what Jeremy was going through. Basketball became secondary, and then when we realized that it's going to be a long haul, there was questions whether he'd even be the same kid.
For me, I think it's just no pressure. A lot of people are going to try to equate everything I do to my dad. So just going out there and playing, having fun, and doing my job, I can make my own path for myself.
Jace is, he's a little different than his dad. More athletic than I think people think.
Here comes Richardson up, and it's in!
Very, very, very high basketball IQ.
Spartan recovered on the break, a slam dunk by Booker.
I'm an in-your-face, scream, yell, gonna dunk, go play hard. He's more of a finesse guy.
Richardson for three from the side. He got it!
That's a beautiful three.
Drives the basket off the glass, and it's in. He's got two.
Jackie, his mother, was a player and coached him. I mean, she did a lot of the coaching because JR was playing in this and that.
She was a hard coach. She was amazing. I mean, she really taught me how to be a point guard and how to play the game of basketball.
What she taught them through the ranks growing up is what the product you're seeing right now in Jace.
Jesse, you don't know about this. This is real West Coast music. I go on and on. Can't. Denver, I think I'm the closest player here that's from the West Coast. We're not counting Utah. We are not counting Utah.
He is a happy-go-lucky guy. He is a very effervescent guy.
MJ seen the game last night. You seen the game last night. Go Tulane.
He just can bring light to a room.
Goes back to Richardson, wide open for three. He got it!
He always played with this passion about basketball that you could tell he loves it, but now he understands that basketball can be taken away from him.
I had a tough experience in high school. I had a surgery that could have practically ended my whole basketball career. Going into the summer of my junior year, I found out that I had an OCD lesion, which technically is a hole in my femur.
The biggest part was we found out literally 3 games before the state championship game where the doctor is telling us, you need to shut him down. His knee is about to give out.
Had to relearn everything. I learned how to walk, jog, run. Mentally, it was challenging. There's a lot of nights where I was just crying because I didn't think I was gonna be able to play basketball. The experience just taught me just to have fun at every level of life. Don't take any moment for granted and enjoy it while you can.
Cooper knocks it away, and in transition, a slam dunk by Richardson.
The way I want to force my own path. I want to be known as one of the best players to play here and just make my mark and then try to help my team in any way I can.
He just is concerned about doing everything the right way and getting better. People are looking at him as Jason's son right now. They're looking at how good can Jace Richardson be?
think coming here, the expectation of him being me. And as you can see, we're totally different players. I tell everybody, he's way above where I was at. Yes, he's living in the legacy of me, but he also created his own. I am highly impressed with Coen Carr. I tell people all the time, he is the best dunker to come to Michigan State history.
The game of his life. He is putting on a show.
Coen Carr is just a raw talent.
Ball pass down low, Carr!
Carr slams it so hard, he was screwing up the cables that held the shot clock up.
Oh, my goodness.
My favorite dunk, Tennessee, fast break one when I came over the top.
Rebound comes out to Coen. He's on the move. Oh, he slams it!
Wow! Took on 2 Tennessee Bulls and threw it down.
At Michigan, when I got the steal.
His pass on the front, intercepted by Carr. Look out! Yes!
Alcorn. That's probably number 1.
Oh my! Coen Carr coming to a poster in a bedroom wall near you.
The things he does, I couldn't do if I tried in my dreams.
Everybody sees this high-flying Michael Jordan-ish. Not Michael Jordan, but Michael Jordan-ish. He's got Jason Richardson that I had-ish. He's a power dunker.
He just gets way above the rim. It's really amazing watching him get off the floor because he gets up.
My favorite player in general was Dr. J. I used to watch him a lot with my dad. Just seeing the stuff he did, you know, I definitely took a liking to dunking for sure.
Oh my goodness! Put it on a poster, Coen Carr.
That's probably the best feeling, you know, just knowing that I could, you know, ignite a crowd like that off a dunk. You know, it's only 2 points, but the way the crowd reacts, it makes it feel like it's more.
Taken away. Michigan State remembers Carr.
Small baby turns here. Okay. Get closer.
I had to relearn how to walk. Leg was swollen, surgery. Maybe 2 days after, they gave me some crutches, and I had to, you know, practice walking, practice like stepping up a stairs.
He was home for 5 days. I got a call from the coach. He wanted me to bring him back. I really didn't want to bring him back, but he did tell me, you guys don't have what Jeremy need there.
He never missed a practice. Once he got here, he sat through them, he rehabbed.
He was all over the place, but also he's kind of guarded. He didn't want to talk that much. I said, you ain't got to talk. As long as we is in this space to help you get to where you want to get to.
I started doing slow things like lifting my leg and, you know, some movement stuff, just those little things. I could just tell myself getting better, you know, day by day. And I was able to just lift every day and, you know, start doing ladder and footwork and stuff like that.
Sometimes when he didn't want to push himself, I had to make him do more weight. I had to make him do one more rep. Come on, you got it. 5 more, come on, you got it.
It was a long process and a frustrating process. I could see the pain in his eyes.
He realized that he had to take it slow. You know, you can't rush it, so he realized that. But, you know, you could definitely see it in his face and see it while he was on the bench during those games that he wanted to come back. I kind of worked towards next year. This is why I'm getting better. I'm getting better, do the most I can, the most prepared I can for next year.
Monmouth game was one that I know was a big deal to him, but I tried to not make it as big a deal because I didn't want to bring up what he had been through. I don't think I appreciated maybe what he was feeling that day.
When they announced his name and he came back, I got emotional. My baby is able to go through with his dream of playing basketball again. Not 100% as Izzo say, but 100% to us.
Immediately off the break, Michigan State goes quick.
The physical toughness he knew he had, but how do you all of a sudden end your freshman year in December? Dreams are shattered. How do you handle that is, I think, a good measuring stick of a man.
Me having this story is just something that, you know, a lot of people don't.
Now to Fears, is he going? Yes, yes!
Enjoy the moment, enjoy the time, be where your feet are. Don't take nothing for granted.
Michigan State. This is one of college basketball's greatest rivalries, no matter the stakes. But when the stakes are like tonight, winner earns sole possession of first place in the Big Ten, well, this rivalry resonates in the great state of Michigan and beyond.
Execution of points, there's going to be a lot of hype, though. This is going to come down to how well we execute offensively and defensively, and how well we stay poised.
Have both been in this building when it's not been like this, but man, it is rocking now.
Wolverines will start with the basketball here in a rockin' Chrysler Center.
Ball pass down low, and at point-blank range, Golden missed the layup. Rebound, Michigan State. Ball pass Carr, he doesn't miss.
Here's Kohler backing in on Wolf. Couple of shot fakes stolen away by Gale. Without numbers, Gale trudging ahead. Lost the handle, saved by Cheddar on the slide. Over to Wolf. Behind the back bounce, Gale. Reverses and scores! Counted it foul! Remarkable ball movement. Cheddar takes a contested three. Makes a contested three. Wolverines 3 of 6 from deep. Cheddar's first bucket is 26-18 U of M.
Tell you what, talk about a friendly pace. They know that Michigan State wants to get out and run, and they say, hey, we like to run also.
Spartan's a 6-0 counter punch.
Fears for a three. He got it. MSU trailed at 1 point by 8.
It's been a half of runs. Another 6 straight for the visitors.
And the Spartans now lead it by 4, 46-42.
We've been here before, a lot of game left. Just got to get that defensive intensity back right now and get some stops.
Each team with 5 made threes. Holloman left wing, an open look, and he cans it.
Out front, Akins for a three, no good. What a rebound by Kohler. Back to Holloman, he'll try a three. He got another one. Holloman dribbling around. He'll try another three. He got it!
It's 3 in a row for Trey Holloman, who is hot.
Hey, it's 10 minutes left. They're the #1 team in the Big Ten. We gotta have some heart. We gotta get this win.
I think the frustration is setting in overall. The Wolverines just got to find a way to get a stop.
15 on the shot clock. Fears down the lane. Right at goal. Bench shot good. Oh my goodness. What a play by Fears.
All Michigan State in this second half. Wolf around to Golden, hedge, lobs it into Golden, drives and jams. Michigan right to left down 5. 9:43 to play. Wolf feed it into Gale, catches, reverses, misses. Golden with the foot back. Yes! Falling backward! Timeout! That was alien-esque from Flag Golden.
Michigan on an 8-0 run. Every trip is big for both ball clubs right now. Jace drives the basket. His floater's off the glass. How did he make that? But he did. 2:35 left in the game. Spartans lead at 68-62 over Michigan. Kohler on the baseline. 10 on the shot clock. Out front, Fears. Wide open for a 3. Oh, off the glass and in. Over to Jones. It's taken away on the break. And that will do it. Michigan State is heading back to East Lansing in first place in the Big Ten.
Come on in. Come on in, baby. Guys, winning on your opponent's court is big. Yes. Winning on this court is enormous.
Let's go, man. Family on 3. 1, 2, 3. Family.